Hey boost. So not long ago your girl took a trip to Peru. And for the first time I stumbled across a airline by the name of LATAM. Of course I did my research because I had not heard of this airlines prior to booking this trip. In today's video I'm going to be sharing my experience with this airline, so you're going to want to stay tuned. Hey boo, my name is Kira, and on this side of town we talk about all things travel, budget traveling to be exact. So if that's something that you'll be interested in, why don't you consider subscribing? I promise you're gonna get the tea messing with me. Now, doing my research, I realized that going to Peru in the months of June and July were pretty expensive. That is because it's the high peak season. People are going there for Machu Picchu to hike. It's no rain and so forth. I decided to look on my travel portal through my credit card company to see if I can be able to utilize some of the points instead of paying full price out of pocket. Now, while scrolling through my travel portal, I realized that a company by the name of LATAM Airlines as well as Delta were my two options, inexpensive options for me to be able to travel to Peru on the dates that I was looking for. There was a slight difference in cost, but I ended up selecting Delta. Needless to say, I was a little bummed out when I realized that it was LATAM instead of actually Delta, but from what I'm hearing, it's sister companies, so I pretty much experienced the same exact thing. I was actually able to book this flight round trip from Miami to Peru for about $300, which was really good considering the cost that I was seeing had I not used any points. The fare options that I came across were basic, light, plus, and top. I booked with the light experience. This particular fare included a carry-on, a personal item, and a seat, which you can select at an additional rate or have them select, which would I typically go with, child. As long as I'm getting them, fine. I really love the fact that I was able to take a little more, being that Peru was actually cold during this time, child. Yes, cold as hell. I'm talking about in the 30s. But I'm gonna have a dedicated video about my whole Peru experience, so you definitely gonna want to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so that you tune in when that video drops, if it hasn't already. So I really needed the extra space. Typically I travel with a personal item, but I needed the carry-on as well. So I was glad that this was included for free. I also love that there were no reps, okay, that was overly doing their job, sitting around securing the premises and checking for people whose bags did not match the measurements. I do want to stress though, if you have to pay for baggage or anything that's not included in your fare, please do so online because you will be spending way more at the airport. So let's get into the flight experience. For whatever reason, I was having issues with being able to check in on the LATAM website or Delta's website, because remember, my flight said Delta on it, and Delta was the one that was reminding me that I needed to check in and so forth. So when I would go to their website, I would get error messages stating that I was unable to check in. Once I reached to Miami's airport, I got out thinking I'm about to check in at the Delta station, and when I got to the self checkout kiosk, I got an error message letting me know that I need to be checking in at LATAM Airlines. So thank God they were not as spread it out. I had to do a little walking, not too much, which I could use because I knew that I was gonna go over to Peru and overeat. So hey, I needed that little walk. Once I got to the LATAM kiosk, I was not able to check in as well. I asked an agent to assist me with it, and they were getting the same error message. For whatever reason, it was saying that they could not find my booking information. Thank God the airport was deserted, child. My flight was about 12 a.m., so there was no lines at all. Once I was referred to the counter, I got in the line, and an agent was able to assist me. Now, please make sure that they add your TSA pre-check information to your boarding pass. I learned the hard way. As I was trying to go through TSA, the agent ended up letting me know that they did not see it on the boarding pass, and that if I wanted it to be added, I would have to go back to the desk. And guess who went back to the desk? Because I was not about to stand in that regular line with all those people So I'm just letting you know that you should definitely double check, triple check this. And when I went over to the line, they, for whatever reason, didn't even see it. So I had to know my known traveler number, and they had to manually insert it, and then they found it and added it to the ticket. Now, there was some language barriers with me and the agents, but the agents who did not speak English would refer me to someone who did. And those particular people were very helpful that I encountered. Let's talk boarding experience. This particular airline boards by groups, and there's 6 groups. I had the pleasure of being a part of boarding group number 2 and boarding group number 5 on my return flight. I personally don't care what group I'm on because the plane ain't going nowhere without everybody aboard. That's just me. Let me know how you feel about the boarding order. My favorite part about this particular airline had to be the inboard experience. I just loved everything about the in-flight experience. My biggest rave have to be probably the leg room. I am 5'10". I have legs for days. Whenever I can come across an airline that don't just have the petite small in mind, it took some consideration for the talls, it's a win-win for me. The leg room was perfecto. They offer recline seats to really get comfortable, and I really needed this because my flight was over 5 hours. I love that they had the onboard entertainment, offering music, television shows, and movies, honey, and recent movies. Now I know I might get my black card revoked saying this. I had yet to see the new Color Purple, and I was able to see it on board this flight, which happened to be pretty good. A meal and drinks were included. I would say that the dinner meal that I experienced was way better. Nothing to call home about now. Phone home. But it was much better than it was my breakfast meal on my return flight to Miami from Peru. I can't even remember what the hell I ate, but I'm pretty sure I got a clip of it, so I'm gonna let you see. I love that it had where you can be able to charge up your phone. I love that they included headphones. I love that they included a pillow. I love that they included a blanket, which kept me very warm, honey, because I was cold. On my return flight from Peru to Miami, I had to also go up to the counter to check in. Same experience, y'all. I just couldn't do it on the phone for whatever reason. Didn't complain this time around. I was blessed with the option of a exit row seat, which offered even more leg room. Okay, now I was in the middle. So they have this seating chart where there's 3 seats in the middle. I guess this is the economy in the back, child, to the back of the bed. And we have 3 seats in the middle. But where I was seated on an aisle seat, there was nobody in the middle. Praise God. And there was someone at the other end. There's 2 groups of 2s on the sides, which I was able to experience on my way back to Miami. Then they had these real big comfy seats, child, like sectionals when you walk in the front of the plane, honey. I guess that's business class, first class up in the I guess that's what he was talking about when he was talking about first class, honey, because when I tell you they was laid out, it was like a whole damn bed. They had their own personal space. They had to share with nobody, honey. I would definitely invest in that type of seating if I was flying, I guess, anything over 6 hours for sure. Like if I had to go like to Thailand or Bali or somewhere like that, baby, I would definitely book something like that. Africa. I want one of them type of seats. If I had to say anything that I did not like about the flight, I would say that they did not offer Wi-Fi, which was okay to disconnect, honey, because with me flying at night, later in the night, I was able to take a nap. I pretty much slept the majority of my flight there. And then on my return flight, which was about 8 a.m., I pretty much slept in as well. So I really wouldn't have used much of the cell phone anyway because of the time frames when I was actually flying. But it's just something to let you know in case you was wondering. Also, I did not like when you board the plane and the overhead bins in your area, your section where your seat is assigned, majority of them was already taken. Like, who's putting their luggage in other people's areas? Like, if that's not where your seat is, why are you stopping and putting your luggage there? I would have to put my luggage way in the front or way in the back from where I'm sitting at, which is kind of inconvenient because if I need to get up right quick and get something out my bag, I gotta walk all the way down to my bags. I ain't like that. Another thing I did not like, and this is just me being a little picky, it gotta be said. I came across a lot of people who felt a little bit entitled. I'll give you an example of what I mean. On my ticket, let's say if it said 26B, right? When I went to my seat, there was someone already sitting in that seat. And then I would ask a flight attendant to assist. And then they would look at my ticket and they would say, oh, yes, this is this. And then they would start speaking Spanish to the other people, right? She actually looked back at me and said, well, they're the same seats. And they were really hoping that they can be able to sit together. And, you know, so if you would like, can you sit in that seat over there? My thing is, are you going to ask me or are you telling me? Because my seat say this. So if I wanted to, I could have been a little bit technical. I could have been technical and I could have been a little petty because you have to ask me. And then after the fact, she's like, oh, thank you, the lady. But no, you should have asked me first. Like, I would have 9 times out of 10 did it. What am I losing? Because it's the same seat, just on separate sides. But ask me. But I didn't let that ruin nothing. Customer service was great. Everybody that I came in contact with, for the most part, it was very helpful. I didn't experience any negatives about this. So if this is really how Delta Airlines be Delta-ing, okay, I can see why everybody raves about them. I would definitely fly with LATAM again. If you're flying with this airlines, come in them comments and testify. Why don't you drop your experience? I definitely talk back, and I'm pretty sure that other people would like to see what other people experience as well. If you made it to the end of this video, be sure to put this emoji down in the comment section. That's how I'm gonna know it's real. Before you go, make sure you thumbs up this video. And if you felt them good vibes, I'm sure you did, y'all. Make sure you subscribe for more. I really appreciate you taking the time out to watch my video. Until next time, later.